fearful face Khmer soldier's spirit rushed face. The story that will be told is a true story from the author's sister. No enhancements whatsoever. Back in 2010, the author, with my sister and mother, we traveled to Cambodia, which is the first time ever here, the modern capital of Phnom Penh. There are buildings, lots of restaurants, lots of people. People here are nice. How is it similar to Thailand? The food here is similar to our country. But who would have known that the capital here had experienced a tragedy and genocide against the Khmer people? Feel deeply moved. It's the first time that the author and my sister have come to visit here. Arrived in Phnom Penh around 7 p.m. Immediately went to a hotel in Phnom Penh. The hotel here is beautiful and modern. We slept 3. The author and his mother slept well. But there is only one sister who can't sleep, because it feels like someone is watching all the time. My sister is quite a person with a special touch. Is a very accurate dreamer. That it is scary that there are many events that actually happened, but I will skip it. In order not to let the reader get bored, first, when I woke up early, my sister told me that she couldn't sleep last night because she felt like someone was watching all around the wardrobe area. But the writer and mother didn't think anything of it, because I thought my sister might be weird, so I thought too much. This matter has been forgotten. Can travel for 4 days and then return. Arrived in Thailand around 3 p.m. When we got home, we all moved to separate houses because we were tired from traveling, but we lived in the same village. There was a phone ringing around 3 in the morning. My sister told me with a trembling and frightened voice of what had happened just now. Sister said, when I arrived home, I fell asleep because I was tired from traveling. Until arriving at about 2 a.m., my sister felt a burning sensation in her eyes, as if the lights in the room were on, but I understand, right? When people are very sleepy, their eyes don't want to forget to look at anything. But with the feeling in my heart at that time, I wanted to know who came to turn on the light. Like having to fight with my own sleepiness. He tried to force his eyes open to see how the lights turned on. When you open your eyes, there was only darkness in the room. There is only a light outside the house to let it be seen in the room, which is normal every day. But in the case of the light in the bedroom, it will be bright white. We will immediately know that the lights are on, even close their eyes, but the brightness of the light, we will feel hot and burning. The older sister was surprised and convinced that something was wrong. But with sleepiness, he continued to sleep. You can fall asleep for about 10 minutes. Heard as if there was a sound of footsteps coming from the bedroom door into the room. The sound of walking was clear. At first, I thought that maybe my husband would come home because my husband and sister would normally not come home on time. Upon hearing this, tried to open his eyes but was half asleep and half awake. The older sister saw a man with a tall and strong build. Soldier hairstyle, but the face is not very clear. Come stand at the end of the bed, suddenly jumped on top of my sister, which was a very fast moment. Suddenly, both his limbs were weak and unable to even open his mouth. It's like having a spell to lie still. While straddling this spirit slapped her older sister's head hard, slapping it 10 times, and slap harder and harder until my sister can't take it anymore. As if to die. After a while, my sister's limbs came back to have strength. My sister immediately pushed that spirit with all her strength, pushing it to nothing but emptiness. Her sister was both scared, shocked, angry and confused about what it was. To say that the dream was not because of the real pain in the head, but still didn't get up. My sister was still on the bed. After a while, he fell asleep. Not even 20 minutes this spirit has returned and is worse than ever. It was straddling his sister and held his head for a long time, and the older sister floated above the bed. If anyone has ever seen a Western ghost movie where a ghost is possessed from a true story, it's like that. My sister knew that she couldn't stand it and suffered a lot like a person who was about to die and didn't know what this spirit was so angry about. Came to do this, the elder sister only thought in her heart, because it was as if she had been spellbound without a sound. Just thinking my sister heard this spirit speak Khmer. But she couldn't hear it. But know that it is the language spoken by the Khmer people. This spirit must have spoken mentally because its mouth did not move. But the voice was scary, like an angry one. In my sister's heart at that time, she was almost unable to move. She thought of the Buddha image and tried to recite the incantation as far as she could remember. But this spirit did not feel the slightest bit of fear. Instead, he threw his head upward and levitated up and let it fall down on the bed. Doing this and switched back and forth for 20 minutes. Which is considered very long from the fact that my sister was so afraid. She became angry, so she cursed and cursed her not to let it happen, only thinking in her heart. Then her soul vanished. At that time, the sister had escaped from the spirit and hurriedly turned on the light and gathered consciousness what it was. I felt a pain in my head and a pain in my head which was unbelievable. And hurriedly ran down to find her mother-in-law lying downstairs. Said there was a spirit attacking the mother-in-law, therefore put the monk around her neck to conclude that she hardly slept that night. My sister hurriedly called the writer to tell me about the horrors she had just met. In the morning, he hurriedly offered food to the monks and dedicated them to the Khmer spirit. 2 days later, my sister dreamed that she saw herself in the Khmer Rouge era. Dress like a doctor and carry a big bag over your shoulder. Walking with hundreds of Khmer people and saw many dead people who were hit by bombs, saw trains, saw Khmer Rouge soldiers. Seeing near-death people asking for help for healing suddenly. Both of my sister's hands were burned. When I woke up in the morning, I thought of my own dream. And came to sit and look at her own hands and wonder why in this lifetime my sister has wrinkled hands like an 80-year-old person since birth. But my sister is very beautiful, she is 40 now. But her hands are very wrinkled. The older sister was born April 15, 1975. And during the Khmer Rouge era, there was a war in early 1975. It's weird, it's just such a coincidence. There were as many deaths as we know, probably over 2 million or more. Only a few people with extreme ideas kill and exterminate their fellow Khmers, killing doctors, scholars, teachers, monks, knowledgeable people, and opposing ministers. They think they know too much. Enemy. Holes are an enemy to him, so must be eliminated. This group of people will be imprisoned at the prison before being killed using various torture methods. It's very pathetic because it's indescribable cruelty. I never imagined that I could kill millions of innocent people this much. The author believes that people after death must be born to pay for each other's karma again. Never-ending endless cycles of life and birth like this. Believe in the past life and the next life. Therefore, now that we are still alive, we should hurry up to make merit and make merit. Do as many good deeds as you can. Do not interfere. Don't be afraid to procrastinate the insurance day. Because we never know if today or tomorrow we will live or not. Let's hurry up and create virtues before tomorrow is not available for us to create.